The moments that changed everything. How Freen and Becky fell for each other on screen and beyond. Some stories are written by writers, but others are written by destiny itself. Freen Sorocha and Becky Armstrong's story isn't just about fame or acting, or the success of Gap the series. It's about two people who met by chance, connected by fate, and built something that feels bigger than the screen. This is the story of how their bond became the heartbeat of a generation, and the love story that fans say no one can ever recreate. A chance meeting, the spark that started it all. Before they were Freen Becky, they were just two actresses walking into the same audition room, nervous, excited, and completely unaware that their lives were about to change forever. Becky, still relatively new to acting, was shy but determined. Freen, calm and confident, had already built a small name for herself. When they were paired for a chemistry test, something shifted. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't forced. Just clicked. The moment their eyes met, the room fell silent. Every line they delivered felt real, too real. And even the casting team exchanged glances that said, "This is it." Later, Freen would admit in an interview, "I didn't expect to feel that comfortable with someone so quickly." And Becky would quietly smile and say, "She made me feel like I could just be myself." That's how it began. Not with fireworks, but with familiarity. Filming Gap. When acting became emotion. As Gap the series began filming, their dynamic only grew stronger. Fans watching behind-the-scenes clips noticed how naturally Freen would look after Becky, fixing her hair between takes, holding her hand before emotional scenes, and whispering little words of comfort when she got nervous. What started as acting quickly turned into something deeper. Even the director once commented, "They don't need direction. They just feel it." There's a reason every glance between Sam and Mon felt alive, because behind the camera, Freen and Becky were truly connected. Each episode blurred the lines between character and reality, leaving fans wondering, where does the acting end and where does the truth begin? Off camera, the language of comfort and care. Away from the spotlight, they found peace in each other's company. Whether it was a shared laugh during lunch breaks, a long talk after filming, or subtle gestures like bringing each other food, their bond was unmistakable. Fans began noticing patterns, matching accessories, identical captions posted minutes apart, shared vacation spots. These weren't coincidences. They were quiet affirmations of a bond built on trust and understanding. Becky once posted, "The best people don't try to change you, they just make you feel safe being you." The same day, Freen posted, "Home isn't a place. It's a person." And the internet exploded. That live moment. "I'm happy when you're beside me." Every fandom has one defining moment. And for Freen Becky fans, this was it. During a fan meet, amid laughter and chaos, Becky looked at Freen and said softly, "I'm happy when you're beside me." The words were simple, but Freen's reaction wasn't. She froze, her eyes softened, and her entire face seemed to say what words couldn't. The clip went viral within hours, captioned 1,000 different ways. Real love looks like this. The look that says everything. Not acting, feeling. It wasn't a confession. It was a revelation. The storm, when fame tested the connection. Success brought love but also pressure. Rumors swirled. Interviews got dissected. Every move they made was analyzed. But instead of pulling apart, Freen and Becky stayed close. They didn't owe anyone an explanation, and they never gave one. Instead, they showed it through action. When Freen was asked about Becky during a press conference, she smiled and said, "She's someone I respect deeply. She has a good heart." And later, Becky echoed, "She's the person I trust the most." Their silence became their strength, a shield against noise, a language fans learned to understand. Growth, trust, and unspoken understanding. Over the years, something beautiful happened. They grew, not just as actors but as people. They learned how to balance public adoration with private peace. How to support each other without needing to prove it. How to let their connection evolve naturally, away from the spotlight's heat. Their bond became proof that love doesn't need labels to be real. They taught us that love isn't about saying it, one fan wrote. It's about showing it, in the way you listen, the way you protect, and the way you stay. A global phenomenon, the power of Freen Becky. What started as one small Thai drama became a global movement. From Manila to Mexico, from Bangkok to Brazil, Freen Becky became a symbol of authenticity, equality, and fearless love. They inspired art, stories, charities, and fan projects around the world. For many, they weren't just a couple on screen, they were hope. Because through them, millions learned that connection knows no boundaries. The present, peace, growth, and mutual love. Today, Freen and Becky have both matured into powerhouses, artists with depth, wisdom, and grace. But what hasn't changed is the way they look at each other. At recent interviews, their glances are softer, more grounded. The playfulness is still there, but now it carries history, shared experiences, laughter, and loyalty. They may not say it out loud, but sometimes silence is its own kind of love language. Final thoughts. A love that outgrew fiction. At its core, the story of Freen and Becky isn't about actors or fame. It's about two people who found something rare in a world that often feels too fast, too shallow, too loud. They found understanding. They found peace. They found each other. They didn't just play soulmates, a fan once said. They became them. And maybe that's why the Freen Becky story continues to live. Not just on screens, but in the hearts of millions who believe that the purest love doesn't need to be explained. Because sometimes love isn't a story you tell. It's a feeling that tells you,